Greedy.
Alright, so your Dalton evidence is tagged as disease outweighs nuclear war. The ununderlined part says, and I quote, humans will have to move to other planets to survive a biological catastrophe that will hit the Earth within the next 1,000 years. So what is giving medical care to immigrants do to get humans on another planet?
No, first of all, this is Stephen Hawking, and he says that...
Stephen Hawking in the context of going to space.
Yeah, well, he indicates that in order to avoid extinction, at some point it might be necessary for humans to make it to space. But our evidence indicates that that is because disease poses an extinction risk. And obviously, since we're not making it to space at any time soon, the only chance of combating diseases that emerge now is to provide adequate health care. And our evidence indicates that diseases are emerging right now. Since there is no prospect of going to space anytime soon, I would recommend that we prevent it.
Fine. Let's talk about that Gibson evidence then, that there are diseases emerging now. There are still diseases in other countries, like places like in Africa and Asia. What about the U.S.?
Yeah, and they come to the U.S. as soon as... Yeah, sure, you're right. There is disease in developing countries. That disease spreads to the rest of the world when immigrants bring it, for example, into the U.S. and there's no healthcare system that can take care of it.
Right. The immigrants don't necessarily only go to places within places like the U.S. They still go to other countries. Why doesn't it spread to the rest of the world? Why is the U.S. unique?
Honestly, it might spread to the rest of the world, but our point is that at least it won't cause extinction as long as every single U.S. citizen and everyone that the U.S. provides healthcare to survives.
Right, because everyone in the U.S. has healthcare right now?
Our point is that we massively expand healthcare, and we expand it to the community that is at most at risk.
To everyone?
We expand it to the community that is most at risk.
Okay, stop. So why don't you follow up with, I mean, if your only advantage is that you stop U.S. people from getting the disease, why doesn't the status quo solve that? The U.S. people can get healthcare now. You know, if his advantage is really now just we protect the Americans, all right, then the status quo does that. Healthcare is provided to citizens.
No, but
so he's essentially just
an epidemic outbreak in the U.S.
Okay, that's absurd. All right, that was a good cross-ex. I think you can kind of, but like I use that as an example. I think there are other areas where you can just kind of, you know, don't let him, you know, get that kind of extra line of spec to say, this evidence says it's inevitable and that we have to leave the Earth. And then move on to the next question.
The risk is the only thing that matters.
That was good, though.